The history of pirates, myths versus reality. Welcome back to Threads and Tunes, where we weave together stories from the past with the rhythms of our lives. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that has captivated imaginations for centuries: the history of pirates. We'll explore the myths that surround these infamous sea rogues and uncover the realities of their lives on the high seas. When we think of pirates, images of treasure maps, eye patches, and the infamous Arrr come to mind. However, the truth about pirates is often far less romantic than the stories we've been told. Let's start by examining the golden age of piracy, which spanned the late 17th century to the early 18th century. This was a time when piracy was rampant in the Caribbean and along the American coast. But what drove these men and women to a life of crime on the open ocean? Many pirates were once sailors who turned to piracy due to harsh working conditions, low pay, and a lack of opportunities. Life aboard a merchant ship was often brutal, and many found the allure of freedom and riches too tempting to resist. The reality is that most pirates lived in poverty before they turned to a life of crime, and many faced harsh consequences for their choices. Now let's talk about the iconic pirate imagery that has permeated popular culture. The classic image of a pirate with a parrot on their shoulder, a treasure chest overflowing with gold, and a flag adorned with a skull and crossbones is a combination of various legends and tales. The Jolly Roger, as the pirate flag is known, was actually used to intimidate ships into surrendering without a fight. It was not just a symbol of piracy, but a strategic tool. Moreover, the belief that pirates buried their treasure is mostly a myth. While some pirates did hide their loot, the idea of buried treasure is largely popularized by novels and films. Most pirates preferred to spend their spoils quickly on food, drink, and other pleasures rather than burying them in the sand. Another common misconception is that all pirates were ruthless and merciless. While some certainly were, many pirates operated under a code of conduct. They often had rules about how to share their loot and treat captives, which stands in stark contrast to the violent, chaotic image we often see in movies. Many pirates were democratic, electing their captains and dividing their earnings among the crew. Now let's touch on the notorious figure of Blackbeard, one of the most infamous pirates in history. His fearsome reputation was built on his appearance and tactics. With his long beard and the habit of lighting slow-burning fuses in his beard during battles, he created a terrifying image that struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. However, beneath the bravado, Blackbeard was more of a businessman than a bloodthirsty tea killer. His primary goal was to capture ships and cargo without unnecessary violence. As we unravel these myths, it's essential to recognize that the world of piracy was complex and varied. Not every pirate was a villain, and their motivations were as diverse as their backgrounds. Some were fighting against oppressive governments, while others sought adventure and fortune. In conclusion, the history of pirates is a rich tapestry of truth and fiction. While the myths of treasure, ruthless marauders, and buried gold capture our imagination, the reality reveals a more nuanced and often tragic story of individuals seeking freedom and fortune on the high seas. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the waves of history. If you enjoyed this exploration of pirates, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Threads and Tunes for more captivating stories from the past. Until next time, keep your sails high and your spirits higher.